Welcome to Project Freelance. What's up, guys? Welcome. Happy Monday. I hope you're doing well. If you are on Spotify or if you're on the Project Freelance YouTube channel, you will actually see a video component to this episode. I'm actually filming myself this episode. It's a solo episode, and I wanted to just have a conversation with you guys and kind of get your opinions, and I felt like doing this in video form would be kind of fun. It's not something I do a lot with this podcast. It's usually an audio-only podcast, and I usually have guests. But this week, I wanted to implement the video portion of Project Freelance for you guys. So welcome to the show. My name is Kay. Just the letter K is my production name. You can find me on Instagram at KInagonio or at Project Freelance if you want to know more about this podcast. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button. I see that like 80% of the people that listen to or watch the podcast are not subscribed. So if you could do me a favor, please subscribe to the podcast. It would mean a lot to me. The next thing I need to say is that if you enjoy this show at any time, please leave a rating and feedback, especially on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It really helps the podcast grow. It helps us find a broader audience of listeners just like you. So this week on the podcast, I really wanted to talk about this idea of tipping content creators. I feel like it's not something that's done very often, and I feel like it should be done more often, and we'll get into why. But I did want to mention that in this episode, I am actually going to be playing a song of mine called The Last Spacewalk, and that'll be later in the episode, but we'll get to that. First, I want to say happy last Monday before Christmas. I hope you have a great holiday. I hope you spend time with your family. If you don't have family to spend time with, go spend time with your friends, or, spend some time by yourself and gather yourself for 2023. It's going to be an amazing year. And The Last Spacewalk is this idea or the song, it surrounds this idea that it's okay to be alone. It's fine being alone sometimes. And yeah, you'll hear the lyrics or you'll see the lyrics or whatever. I'll put them down in the description for you guys. But that song debuted last May under my solo artist name, KInagonio, which is my name. But I'm re-releasing it because it didn't gain the traction that I wanted it to under that solo name. So I'm re-releasing it under Chasing Satellites on Christmas. So if you guys want to stream the heck out of that would be absolutely amazing. I would really appreciate that a lot. But let's get into this episode. So this idea of tipping. So as a content creator, as a videographer, as a photographer, I feel like tipping is not the norm, right? I feel like we are often just not tipped. There's no other way for me to say it. We are in the service industry, right? So we provide a service for people, and I feel like when you get a service done, you usually tip. I tip my tattoo artists every time I get tattooed. I'm working on my entire torso right now. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but I'm working on my entire torso. I also had top surgery, so yeah, I don't have breasts or nipples. I just have a torso now. It's very Kyle XY of me. We're actually going to be blasting my entire belly button, so I will look like Kyle XY with no belly button. That'll be interesting, but it's going to hurt like a mother. But anyway, so yeah, I tip my tattoo artist every time I get tattooed, even every session, even though this session is going to be like 6 or 7 sessions. I'm still tipping her every time I get tattooed by her because she's providing a service for me, and I am appreciative of that service, so I tip her. I tip my barber because I appreciate a good haircut. I tip people in the restaurant industry or food and dining industry because that's the norm. You tip them. So people in the service industry, when you get your car work done, you usually tip. When you get a plumber out, you usually tip. So tipping is like the norm unless you are a videographer or photographer. And I think that's absolutely insane. And I think that it should change. I think that it should be normal to tip your videographer or your photographer or your editor. And this isn't for every client, right? Some clients do tip. I'm just speaking generally overall. Most of the time we don't get tipped for what we do. Sometimes at weddings, the photographer will get tipped, but the videographer won't get tipped. It's just like a weird thing. But like I said, sometimes I do get tips. Sometimes we do get tips as content creators. So again, I'm speaking generally. Most of the time, 99% of the time, we do not get tips. Some of my clients do tip me in experiences or adventures or gifts. That is tip enough. I don't always need a financial tip. I like a gift. I like an experience. If you can give me an experience, if we can go do something cool together, that would be awesome. For example, my client, Lisa Ann, I produce her 2 podcasts, Dudes Do Better and The Lisa Ann Experience. I also film her content for her YouTube channel, The Real Lisa Ann. So I get to go do some crazy cool stuff with her. I got to go to Alaska for 10 days. I got to go to Switzerland for like 8 days. So we've done all this crazy cool stuff together, and I've gotten those experiences, but I am also working. So she does provide me with tips in the form of all like experiences, gifts, and she does pay me very well. So that is enough for me. But what I'm talking about is like the other jobs. I literally had a client recently say like, pay me through Venmo, and was like, it gives you the option to tip. And that client was literally like, I'm not going to tip you. I'm just not going to tip you. I was like, tight. Cool. Thanks. Appreciate that. So that was interesting to say the least, but, yeah, just to be told up front, like, I'm not tipping you is just like, why don't you just slap me in my face? You know, like, the heck? I feel like I do a good job. So like, I feel like I should be appreciated a little bit more by some clients, but I don't know. That's just like one specific instance of that happening that I wanted to mention because I feel like it was kind of funny, and I'm sure he was joking, but I mean, he also didn't tip me. So, I mean, there's that, but whatever. Yeah, it's weird. Like, does anybody else, I want to know if anybody else experiences this in the freelancing world, whether you are a freelance virtual assistant or a copywriter or a musician, like a co-writer or any type of freelance. Like, do you get tipped? Am I just the only one out here not getting tipped? I know I'm not, because I literally posted an Instagram reel about this and had people say like, yeah, I've been talking about this for years. Like, it's so weird that we don't get tipped. And I'm also in a bunch of Facebook groups for freelancing. And there's a wedding videographer group that I'm in. And somebody was like, it's funny, the photographer got tipped at this wedding, but us videographers didn't get tipped. And I find that kind of odd. Speaking of videography and weddings and stuff, if you go to my other channel, Just the Letter K, I'm going to be posting a reaction video or like sharing this wedding video that I saw that was absolutely mind-blowing and amazing. And I don't usually do reaction videos, but I feel like this is like really necessary and should be shared and more people should watch it. It's absolutely incredible. And yeah, I feel like you should go check that out on the Just the Letter K YouTube channel. But yeah, I feel like this should be the norm. I feel like people should be getting tipped for the services that they provide. And I feel like it should change. So in 2023, I'm hoping to have more open conversations about the tipping aspect of freelancing. I'm hoping to have more conversations with you guys, solo, one-on-one through Project Freelance. It's something I love doing. I really love doing this podcast, and I'm going to continue to do it. Whether I'm traveling or not, I will bring my gear with me so that I can continue to do this podcast while I'm on tour with bands. I work for the band The Red Jumpsuit Apparatus as their content creator. I'm also going to be starting to work with another band that's based in South America this year. So I'm going to be doing a South American tour, and actually with Dan Cleland, who I recently had on the podcast. I am going to be potentially going on tour with his band. Super excited about that in South America. I haven't done a South American tour yet, so I'm super stoked for that. It's going to be sick. But yeah, so between the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, between Dan's band, and between my band, Matriarchs, I'm going to be very busy on tour this year, as I was this past year of 2022. But I think 2023, I'm going to be settling into what I am doing in music, so I'm super excited for that. The goal with all of that is to basically play the show, so support the headliner, and then shoot content for the headliner or headliners, and just be the content creator on the tour. I'm trying to like finesse my way in. That's my goal. And I think 2023 will be the year that I get to do that. So I'm super excited for that. But yeah, so tipping is important. And I feel like since we're providing a service, you should tip us. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that in this episode. I would like your opinions. So if you could go to my Instagram and comment on the post, I'll put the link down in the description, or you can go to my YouTube channel where this video lives, as well as it's also on Spotify. But if you go to the YouTube channel, Project Freelance, leave a comment on the video. I'll put a link, if you're listening to this, I'll put a link in the description to that video, and you can go like comment on the video and let me know your thoughts about this. If you've ever been tipped, if you have any horror stories about not getting tipped or horror stories about freelancing in general, would love to hear them. I would love to share some of my horror stories about freelancing as well. I have quite a few, so that should be interesting. But yeah, I'm going to jump into playing my new song, well, re-released song, The Last Spacewalk, Hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to put the music video up as well so you guys can watch that and listen to the song. Enjoy. This is The Last Spacewalk by Chasing Satellites.
You've been lost in the dark and you don't know where you are. I'm feeling us drift apart and I'm trying to find your star. I'm wishing I could go back, but it's so unclear what's in my head. And I'm trying even now, I'm falling out and breaking down everything you've ever said. But I'm alright being lonely. I don't need anybody to tell me how to be, 'cause I am who I wanna be. And I am fine on my own. I rely on myself 'cause it's all that I've ever known. I don't need you, I don't need you, no. My world is turned upside down and I'm inside out trying to forge a new path. And I don't need you by my side because I found a new life. So I'm trying to move on now and I think I found a way out. And I don't need you by my side because I've made a new life. But I'm alright being lonely. I don't need anybody to tell me how to be, 'cause I am who I wanna be. And I am fine on my own. I rely on myself 'cause it's all that I've ever known. I don't need you, I don't need you, no. I swear I'm good. I swear I'm fine on my own. But I'm alright being lonely. I don't need anybody to tell me how to be, 'cause I am who I wanna be. And I am fine on my own. I rely on myself 'cause it's all that I've ever known. I don't need you, I don't need you, no. No, I don't need you, I don't need you,
So let me know what you guys thought of The Last Spacewalk. Please go stream it on Christmas. This is like a sneak peek of it, even though it already came out, like I said, in May of 2022. I'm re-releasing it, so if you guys could go listen to it when it comes out, go stream it a bunch. Hope you liked it. It was a very moving song for me to write, so I hope that it moved you as well. That's what music's all about. It's all about moving people. But yeah, that's this episode of Project Freelance. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you got something out of this. I hope that you have some comments to leave. I would love to hear from you guys about it. And yeah, let's just have a great 2023. Let me know your goals for 2023. I told you one of mine is to, like I said, play with bands and then do content for the other bands on the tours. That's a huge goal of mine. And then other goals, I would just say financial independence is like a huge thing for me always. I'm always trying to like grow. Hopefully the economy gets fixed or starts to repair itself so that, you know, stocks go back up and investments go back up, because it's just a economy crash. So everything went down. So hopefully things start to rebuild over the next year, and we'll see where we go. But thank you for listening. If you liked the episode, please subscribe. Stay strong. Keep enduring. I'll talk to you guys next Monday.